Hey everybody, I am going to work on a Apple Watch. This is my granddaughter's, and as you can see, it's in pretty rough shape. But the first thing we need to do is need to make sure we have the necessary tools. iFixit.com is a great place to get a lot of these good tools. This kit right here you can buy on their website, and I'm trying to remember how much it was. I think it was like 25 bucks, somewhere around there. But this is the most important when it comes to phones, watches, because this is a eye opener. And what it is you stick it in the microwave for 30 seconds, and it heats up really hot, but not too hot, just the right temperature. So you'll lay it on the phone, and it's going to loosen up the adhesive that goes around the screen, so you can lift it off a lot easier. You can also use it on the phones, but you might want to get two of them so you can cover the whole phone. So the first thing you want to do when you're doing something like this is an iPhone Series 6. It just has GPS, doesn't have the cell service, but it doesn't matter. This is a 40 millimeter. You just need to make sure if you buy a screen, you could buy two different things. One is the glass, which is a lot cheaper, but a lot more difficult to get off. And the other is the screen. It comes with the screen and the glass. You can also get the battery to a Apple Watch, but I'm going to do the screen because, as you can see, this screen is pretty badly damaged. So the first thing you want to do is, of course, shut the watch off, hold it, power off, then turn it upside down, press the little buttons for the screen, for the band, which should slide out. And then there's a little button right inside there. You just take your fingernail, stick it inside, and then you can slide the band out. Come on. There it is. There's a little thing on there where the band locks onto, and that unlocks it. Then I must have hit the button because it's powering back up, so I got to make sure I turn it back off. But while I'm waiting for this, turn it back off. Hold the button in until you get these three lines, and then swipe for power off. And you just got to keep from hitting that button on the side. But I'm going to throw this in the microwave for 30 seconds. You do not want to microwave this no more than 30 seconds. And if you do microwave it, you do 30 seconds, and it says to wait 10 minutes before you microwave it a second time. So if you're doing something larger and you have to microwave it more than once. It just has like I don't know what it is, maybe a silicone gel or something like that. So I'm gonna microwave this for 30 seconds. Okay, when it comes out of the microwave, it's really hot. Grab it by the ends and then lay it, the plastic side down, and lay it right on top of the phone or the watch. And you're gonna let it sit there for about, 15, 20 seconds. Just enough to heat up the adhesive that is under the screen. Then you take, if you are lucky enough, like I'm lucky enough, to have this already have broken, it's already broken up pretty bad. You want to take one end of this and go into where it's already broken and start prying up. Now, you want to pry up away from the crown. So let's see if I can get this in here. I gotta be careful not to go ahead and pry this up. Now you can wear eye protection if your watch like has some pretty broken pieces like mine. I have to be careful. It looks like, I don't know if might be more to my screen. So the whole idea is just to be careful, because if you pop some of this glass up, you could pop it right up into your eye. And these things are pretty sharp. I'm trying to keep this so I have it nearby. Just being careful not to. There it goes. You got to get the edges, because that's where the adhesive is. And you definitely don't want to pull up too much on. Here's another piece of glass. I'm getting there slowly. There we go. Now, I have to be careful. There's still some glass pieces down in here. Once you get the main screen up, you can pry the screen up like this. Now you have two connections right here. So there's a like a tape that's over top of it. Just gotta be careful when you peel it up, because this tape you're gonna need. Come on. Okay, so once you get the top tape off of these two, you can take your tongs and you go up and underneath the connector and you pull it out. It goes down and into each one of these connectors, because then you can come underneath it and you can start pulling it up. I'd like to try to make sure I get as much of the tape as possible. Come on around. Because it resides right on this piece of copper. Then there's a second piece of tape, small one. Which I don't think it's... It's just really fragile stuff. There's that one. And it's really hard to see, but there's a little one right here. It's kind of a strap, basically. It looks like it's just to hold the screen. And this one you want to pull off, and then your screen should just come off. Now, the next thing you need to do is you need to go all the way around and clean out this little valley that's all the way around. It's going to have glass in it, and it's going to have some adhesive. If you get in there good enough, you can get it's an adhesive strip. If you get in there good enough, you can bring this up in like one piece. If I can get up under it. Here we go. You can see I'm kind of under that piece. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull it up enough so that I can start pulling it up all the way around. You just got to be careful not to pry it up. I keep hitting the buttons on the watch. That's the problem. I can hear the watch because it popped back on. So I'm going to start peeling this piece of adhesive all the way around. And hope that it doesn't break, because it can be a pain, especially if there's some glass in it. Like right here, it's stuck. See if I can come this way. There we go. That's the adhesive strip. Now, just take something to make sure it's nice and clean. There you go. Now it's nice and clean all the way around. Okay, so take all this glass and this adhesive strip. Make sure I don't cut myself. And my broken screen. Throw it in the trash. Now, new screen. Here's my new screen. It's going to line up the same way. You just got to make sure you get the connectors in. But when you go to buy the screen, sometimes they won't come with a replacement adhesive strip. Fixit.com, you can buy the strip. And find my scissors. You can either do that, or you can buy some glue. This T7000, if you can't get the adhesive strip, this stuff you pull off, and it has like a needle, and then you run a bead around here. Now this stuff can be pretty messy, so I advise to, if I can get this back in it, I advise just go to Fixit.com. I'll put a link to this. They have the adhesive strips for all of them, all the phones. This is 40 millimeter. You just get the right size. So what you got to do is you have to pull off one side, which is like this. It's just a piece of plastic that goes all the way around. Then you line it up. Get it lined up. Oh, there's still a piece of plastic on here. There it goes. You have to go this way. Make sure you have it in the valley all the way around. Then, once you make sure you got it in all the way around, when you're ready, there's another piece of plastic to pull off to expose the other side. But first, we have to get this first. Make sure that this goes on correctly. It's going to go just like this. Gotta make sure we open them up. Oh, come on, where are you? I got some of the tape had peeled off. Come on. There we go. This one, stay off of there. This is quite the challenge to get this back inside. So what we have to do is position this. Get this back over here. Because these little tabs have to go back inside. There's one. There's two. Gotta make sure they're pushed in all the way. Then there is a little piece that goes, a little flap that pushes down. I don't know if you can see it, but so thought I was having some problems with the watch. Thought maybe I'd blown something up. It ran out of juice, so I've got to charge it. I still have this adhesive doesn't seem to be working very well. So I might use the T700 glue. It doesn't even have any stickiness to it. So I thought for a minute that maybe there's a piece of plastic on it, but there isn't. So I'm not too impressed with Fixit.com adhesive strip, because as you can see, it doesn't stick at all. So I'm probably going to have to go with this stuff. But I'm going to have to let this thing charge overnight. All right, so I got it charged back up. But I want to see if I can be a little more clearer on the cables. So let's see if I can get this open. It's really difficult to see. I don't have one of those great cameras, but if you look, let's see if I get the light here. If you look at where these so there's like a black tape that covers over these connections. If I can bring this down a little more. And here's the same thing here. You have to peel this tape up, and it's really, really thin. You have to peel that tape up. And then there is a little plastic tab. I get that to stay up. It's a little plastic tab right there. I'm trying to look to see in the camera if I can see it. It's a little plastic tab that lays down on, that holds the cable in place. It's a little locking tab. And you just take one end of these tweezers and just kind of scrape from this end, and it'll pop it up. And you can do this side. I kind of accidentally broke this one. It broke in half, but it still works. If I can get to it. And there it goes. Now both of those are up. And then you can, once you get the tape pulled up off of the two connectors, you can take one end and slip it under the connector right about here. And you can pry, if I get the light right, and then you can pry up and pull them. Let me get to this one. You got to get underneath it and pry it up. So now you can see I have both connectors up and out. Then you can start prying from this end and pull the tape all the way up. And then you have this other little connector here. It's not a connector, it's like a grounding cable. And you have to pry that one up too. To get them back in, you have to kind of go at an angle and then fold it up to slip it back in. There goes one. Get this one here. It's really a challenge to get this, dealing with really, really small stuff. And then get this one. Come on. There it goes. Now you can see I have it both in. You gotta have it detached so you can get them pushed all the way in. And I don't know if you can see, but there's a little indentation on the end here, and that should push all the way up to the connector. Then you take your tweezers and you push down on those little plastic pressure tabs. Get it. There's a little connector right here. It's a little copper thing that holds the screen in place. So you got to kind of get around that. And then this one, do the same thing. Push it from this end to push it down. Once you get that, then you can push the tape back down. Then once you get them in place, you can kind of press it down. I'm also going to take a small piece of electrical tape. If I can get it up. And I'm going to, whoops, got it backwards. You always want to lift on the side that's opposite of the crown. And I'm going to cover these connectors. I need to take off some of this. Cover this up. There we go. Now, I got it all, if I get the light right, got it all sealed back up. Now you can close your screen. You don't want to put it all back together. Hit your button. All right, got it booted up. So I can check all my buttons. I can hit the crown. You can see that works. I can hit the power off. See, that works. So all my buttons work, my screens work, my screen works. Now, this adhesive strip from iFixit is an absolute failure. It has no, maybe I got a defective one, I don't know. But we're gonna go with the silicone adhesive. So, you wanna get your watch into position, and you're gonna apply a bead of this right into the channel where the adhesive strip goes. The tricky part is keeping the watch open, because you're gonna have, so you're gonna have to slip the watch over and keep from making a mess. So we're gonna fold this over like this. Turn this, hold this down, and just apply right into the channel. A nice bead. Just trying to keep the watch from moving. Now we're going to be able to wipe some of this off if we get a little too much. You want to keep it in the channel. Some people are better at this than I am. Just want to put a nice bead all the way around. Now the tricky part, you have to lift the watch up and over to get into the back side. Come on. Right into the back. There we go. Now I'm gonna put this upper in. I have to get a paper towel. Put the lid back on here. It does take a little time to dry. There we go. Line up your watch. Get it in place. Press it into place. Got a little bit of the glue on the edge here. I'm going to take some isopropyl alcohol and clean it up after I'm done here. It's just a silicone sealant. Squeeze it in place. I would find something that's got some weight. It usually sticks pretty good right away, but I would find something. I have something that's got some weight. There we go. It's not the perfect. Let's turn it this way and see if I can do that. There you go. Now let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes. And then all you do is come back in with your little tweezers and you clean up any leftover silicone glue that's around the edge. Use some isopropyl alcohol. So I'll be right back. All right. It's been a few minutes. So when you use that adhesive, you'll get some seepage around. Take a little isopropyl alcohol. Get this to spray. Come on now. There it goes. And then spray around the edges. Get around the crown. It turns into like a rubber. It's a silicone glue. Get around here. tricky part is getting into this. This area right here. Clean that out. Make sure you get around the crown. And then run your little tip of your all the way. Come on. Got a little one here that don't want to come out. There you go. Just hold the screen down while you're doing it, because it's still curing. Come all the way around. And there you go. Now we have a nice clean watch. All the silicone is cleaned up around. Got a little bit more up here. But once it dries, it turns into like a rubber silicone, which is what it is. And then you can just go around and clean up any after you're done. So my granddaughter will be happy that she has her watch back. Everything works as it should. And put the band back on and she'll be happy. Now I know this isn't the greatest video. I don't have the steady of hands, but it's not that difficult to do. Using this stuff, you can get it off Amazon. Works really well. I'm not impressed with the iFit adhesive strip. I don't know if you can even see it. That's it right there. It really doesn't stick at all. There's no, I thought maybe there was a plastic sheet over it, but they actually make it, if there is, they actually make it very difficult to get it off. So I wouldn't even bother with it. This stuff works good for any electronic device that you have to seal back up. To get it off, it comes off really easy with this. You heat it up, set it on there. It heats up the silicone, and then the object just pops right back off. So it's not that difficult, and doesn't make life difficult to get back off. It comes off pretty easy. So if you have any questions, hit me up, and subscribe.